Part 2 of the other network. I've only just begun describing the horrors I've seen on Patriot Search. Oh, when something had happened to New York City, there were plenty of records about it, dating back to the late 90s, but then they just stopped, like it never existed. I couldn't find it on any of the maps. No discussions on any public forums about it either. I'm not sure if it's an isolated example, or one of many places to officially stop existing, but if anyone decides to look for themselves, then it's something interesting to investigate. I really recommend that you don't, though. A shrill beep startled me. I'd left the command drive open after testing my connection. It was notifying me of an echoed ping. I reopened the window, and sure enough, I had been pinged. Moments later, a second ping popped up on the feed. A different source, though. The IP address was listed beside the notification. As far as we know, that building is the only one with a connection to the network, meaning that they hadn't come from this side. As I tried to grasp what was happening, a third ping appeared. Something clicked inside my head, and I felt my stomach turn. I had grasped blindly into the unknown, and now the unknown was grasping back. People from this other world had felt my clumsy investigations and were in turn investigating us. That was when my laptop went crazy. The mouse stopped responding to my usage. In fact, the pointer disappeared completely from the screen. The internet browser instantly froze up and then forwarded me to another website, a blank white screen which loaded almost instantaneously. A file began to load itself onto the machine, its icon a pale, pupil-devoid eyeball, and its name a blank space. Though I wasn't hugely worried about the well-being of the old laptop, the idea that something from this other place was pushing its way into my reality was strangely horrifying. I leapt to my feet, and just as the download reached the 75% mark, I yanked free the cable from the wall. A squeal of static emerged from the computer speakers, and the download bar quivered, frozen on screen. I had dropped my cigarette in the rush, so I sat back, lit another one, and stared at that socket on the wall, scratched and slightly deformed due to my rather rough exit from the world that lay beyond it. I have no idea what that iProgram was for, and I didn't try to find out. I took the laptop apart then and there, and then carefully ground each piece below my heel. All that's left of its inner workings is a scattering of green plastic shards and bent metal. As for what the future holds for the old climate research building, I have no idea. Gwinnett Council have been talking about demolishing it down for years now, and perhaps one day they'll pull their fingers out and get around to it. I'll be honest, when it's nothing but rubble and ashes, I won't be mourning its loss. Until that time, the socket, a little window into the unknown, is still there. If you desperately want to investigate, I can't stop you. Still, it's plain to see that whatever world the network represents is a cruel and malicious shadow of our own. Just a word of warning to any other would-be pioneers, however. If they try to make contact, ignore them, and if they try to get through, deny them. Scientists believe that should alternate universes exist, then it would be almost impossible to knowingly transfer physical objects from one to the other. Then again, though data is simply electrical impulses, energy, that such a force should be exchangeable between two realities simply paves the way for other, far less desirable visitors. I believe that whatever possibilities the network holds for us are outweighed by the risk, because what lies just across the veil is not some monster or demon, but a humanity turned cold and hateful. It knows how we think, and it knows we'll come back. If all this hasn't dissuaded you from exploring, then please just be careful.